was not going to be happy.
What? Well, we're not going to get a lot of smuggling, transporting done without an engine, now are we?
It's weird, wearing this jacket makes me feel part of the band.
G'day,
Hello there.
and welcome back to episode 5.
I'm English Gent,
And I'm Aussierobbo.
and this is our return visit to Smugglers Run Millennium Falcon ride at Hollywood Studios' Batuu Galaxy's Edge Black Spire Outpost.
I'm the engineer on this time, and you are
The other one?
sitting in front of me in the video. And while we're waiting, we got to get our photo taken at the chess table.
It's really good opportunity to get your photo taken. Only problem being when it's busy, which it pretty much always is, unless it's late at night or first thing in the morning, you can be a bit pushed. The cast members generally, we found, are quite nice, and they understand that everybody wants to get their photo taken and interact with the environment. So don't feel too pressured, but also at the same time think of others when you're on it, because there are a lot of people to get through before they get on the ride.
Push the flashing button to take off. Pilot on the left. Move your stick to fly right and left. I was just about to say that. Pilot on the right. Pull back on the stick to fly out. And push forward to fly down. Robots are online. Left pilot, hit the boosters. Now let's go get that coaxium. Right pilot, make the jump to light speed. Those heavy guys are protecting the train. Take them out! They've locked onto us! Take evasive action!
Please turn off your flash. Thank you.
Ah, there it is! After that train! Flight engineers! Fire the harpoon! Now gunners! Shoot the cargo free! The pilot brakes! Good work! Well, my friends, that could have been much worse.
Please turn off your flash.
Okay. It's much worse. Yes! You got one! Excellent, my friends! The power of the ship! Well, I grab, go, axiom! You see, just as I promised, my friend, now that the resistance ads were ready, maybe a little something for Ronto. Pilot, line up behind the train so we can harpoon that last car. Flight engineers, fire the harpoons and steam us in. Gunners, shoot the train. Yes, keep flashing those controls. The cargo's pretty, keep shooting. Good job, my friend. Yes. We got the coaxium. I will grab him. You keep after the train. Lunch. Oh, that's ridiculous. Things are getting too hot. We've got to get out of here. Loads. At distraction. Fire the missiles at the train. Hey. The Star Destroyer is collapsing! Left pilot, hit the boosters! Boost! Look! We did not die! Let's get out of here! Your hyperdrive has failed! Pilots, evasive maneuvers! We've got company! Chewie's right. We cannot let them follow us back to the resistance. Only 3 left. You did it. Watch out! Oh, that's going to be awesome. Yes, Chewie will pilot us in remotely. You retrieve 2 containers of coaxium. This would greatly help the resistance. You have heard the First Order and made chewy browns. Now after my modest profit, your cut minus what you owe me for damaging the Falcon is...
Hey.
What are you doing with that scanner?
Oh, I'm just kind of recording.
Recording?
Yeah.
For the First Order?
No, for the Resistance.
For the Resistance?
Yeah.
Wearing those colors?
Yeah.
Why are you wearing those colors?
I'm in disguise.
You must be a spy.
For the Resistance, yeah.
I will blow your cover. That's brilliant.
Thank you very much.
Just like them, so they think you're one of them, and then they'll leave you alone.
That's absolutely
Luckily
right.
For us, they're not recruited based on brains, so I'll give them a day job. He's got the right idea.
Exactly.
How long have you been a pilot?
Many years.
Many years? You know how to fix this thing?
No.
Not there yet.
Not there yet.
That's all right.
It's a heap of
People
junk.
You two be safe.
Thank you very much.
Everything.
You too.
Safe travels.
Take care.
So that's Rob and myself speaking to Rebel Extraordinaire V. Maradi. I happened to have listened to the audiobook on the way to Florida, and it's a really good book, especially as an audio book. But also a big part of the land is the fact that there's lots of interaction if you look for it, and you can often find it, whether it be good guys or bad guys, rebels or First Order. First Order troopers are always kind of intimidating, especially for kids, but also adults. And let's face it, even stormtroopers have to adjust their underwear from time to time.
So I got all this footage while we were waiting to get our photo taken in front of the Millennium Falcon. We had a few portrait photos taken, and then we had the wide shot taken. I feel that she didn't give me enough time to explain where the camera was being taken from. But either way, you can see I'm blinking and I'm still pointing at where I think the camera's going to be. I did get a second chance later in the week, and we did get a half-decent photo. I do say half-decent photo of the two of us, and I'll put that in a later video.
For those that aren't as fanatical and obsessive about Star Wars as ourselves, and I'm sure there's lots of you that aren't, the blue milk is quite sort of important and nostalgic. It comes from the first film that they made for New Hope, episode 4, and then you can also now try the green milk, which is for episode 8, The Last Jedi.
So we just got a portion of blue milk and green milk. So I'm just going to try the blue milk first. It's quite an interesting flavour, and weirdly, it kind of reminds me of those icy poles from the 80s, the Star Wars icy poles. Yeah, from the late 80s, but it's kind of bizarre taste. I can't really describe what it compares to.
Let me try the blue first. Tradition. Definitely, I don't know the ice poles, but it's definitely got that kind of supermarket ice lolly vibe going on.
It's not a bad taste.
It's actually quite refreshing.
Yeah.
I've already tasted the green milk. So what do you think?
I actually didn't like that as much.
I thought I did like that to start off with now before this one.
It's got a bit of a medicine-y vibe comparison to it.
I think they're going for fruit, but it doesn't.
The blue milk definitely is. It's got like more of a. I'm getting more of a lime,
But now I like this more after I've had the blue.
I'm getting a lime taste now, but I don't know if that's the after effect of that one or not. So I used the wrong GoPro setting when I started the second recording, and obviously it's going quite fast without any sound. But what I was saying is that drinking this drink brought back some memories of an icy pole that I hadn't had in about 30 years. And I was kind of wondering whether I was going a bit mad, whether I was making it up. But I did a quick Google, and it turns out it was an icy pole or an ice lolly that existed in the 80s in Australia, but apparently didn't really in the rest of the world, which is why Darren didn't know what I was talking about.
We were robbed.
But the flavour just took me right back as soon as I drank it. It reminded me of that blue flavour of the icy pole that you can see in the images. It's amazing that, there's one memory that I hadn't thought about for a very long time kind of resurfaced as soon as I had this drink. Would I have the blue or green milk again? I'd definitely go for the blue one again. I really like the blue milk. I didn't like the green milk at all. No matter how many times I had it, I don't think it got any better for me. Darren, what did you think of the milk?
So I started on the green milk and went to the blue. It's a weird thing, and I've heard this quite a lot since. You will have an initial reaction with the green milk, I think, more like, ugh. But once you start drinking the blue milk and the green milk, alternatively, it has a weird changing sort of effect on your taste buds, I found.
The flavours did change when you tried one between the other, but
I'd say it's quite refreshing though. If it's hot, sunny, humid.
Yeah, it was a very cold day when we had this, which is why you bought the orange jacket.
But it's a strange, a really expensive orange jacket just because it was a cold day. You will find that when I go to the stores, I do tend to purchase things.
Spend a lot of money?
On a knee-jerk reaction. I have no buyer's remorse.
So there were some gorgeous birds that flew over while I was having lunch, and I was hoping for a Disney miracle, and I'd have my Cinderella moment where the birds would fly onto my finger, but unfortunately it didn't happen.
So again, another big part of this land is interactivity, whether it be people or characters, but also there's lots of games to discover on the Disney Parks app. These involve missions, they involve hacking, which has an effect on your surroundings. You can collect things. It's really great to pass the time, and we were quite cold that morning, so we managed to sort of keep ourselves occupied while waiting to do other stuff. I will warn you, it drains batteries really quickly, so make sure you've got a charger on you.
Training will serve you well. But you serve. I don't think so. Listen! Turn up! Left shoulder! Hand side! Stop! And cut to the head! Very polite fighting.
Stand here.
You are brave to challenge me.
Yes, he is. Ready position. Now hit his feet. Hit the other side. You cut to the head.
Another thing we love to do, and it's quite easy to get onto, sometimes there's large queues, but it's Star Tours, the Star Wars ride, the original Star Wars ride. Sadly, we didn't get to view the new content because it was a couple or so weeks away from Rise of Skywalker opening. Same as Rise of Resistance, where that opened literally like a week later after we left. But we'll be returning to see it all again. Star Tours may be old, but it's the original, and I personally love it, mainly because of C-3PO and R2-D2 being on show in the queue in fully chatty mode, but also you get these other droids and characters throughout the queue, one of which who has quite a full conversation with the crowd. That's a bit, if you stood in front of it, look up, because they're often taking your photo, and this is used later in the ride for one lucky rider who will be spotted as Rebel scum.
Please, that's it. Thank you.
It's got chewy, peanut chewy.
It wouldn't be a visit to Hollywood Studios without a bit of roller coaster action, so it's time for Aerosmith's Rock and Roller Coaster Squeaky Bum Time!
Kind of how I remember it as being just as fast, and although I didn't remember it having as many loop-de-loop circles.
Loop-de-loops. I think my blue milk nearly came back up.
And then the worst thing was it was missing the best Aerosmith song ever. Which was, of course, Crying.
No.
Crying.
No.
Alicia Silverstone.
No.
I think it was.
No.
So for convenience, we had Darren's lightsaber shipped to the front of the park so we could get on all the rides. This is the point where you could pick it up at the end of the day.
You can also have it sent back to your resort hotel if you're with Disney, which can be quite handy. You just need to allow 48 hours for it to be delivered.
For dinner, we ended up at the boathouse. It had been a long day. We were quite tired, so we didn't film very much, but we both had macaroni and cheese. Loved it, loved the service, fantastic food. We'd love to go back there again when we go back again in the future.
So that's it for today. Please feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.